right, all right. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Oh man. I can't believe I can't believe the homie Ricky told me let's just cut to the chase. No music, no intro, no long-windedness on your part. And I said, "Man, I have to. That's the trademark music. How am I gonna ignore the opportunity? Dismiss the opportunity to play one of the most epic songs that I can think of. That sound right there by Dan the Automator, the instrumental, of course. It performed with Deltron 3030, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and one of my favorite albums of all time. How can I dismiss the opportunity to play that epic, majestic sound right there? So, yep, homie Ricky, I do apologize for you, man. I know you just want to get down to the nitty gritty. I know there is so much to discuss about the sport of boxing, and I feel you. All right. So let's just do some proper introductions. This is the Warp Speed, and thank you for joining us here in the Laws Show, live at Warp Speed. This is your interlocutor, Warp Speed, and we do have a couple of guests joining me today. We do have the homie Ricky, of course, ever the knowledgeable boxing individual, and in fact, he's very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. And we will also have Dream 123. Fellas, sound check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, man, loud and clear. I'm here.
Dream, you there? I noticed that he is there, or at least I joined him in, but somehow he is still not available to discuss. Homie Ricky, let's just get down to brass tacks, right? Question: Are you disappointed in Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko?
Nah, man, I think we talked about this like a month or two ago, and I'm glad that Lomachenko walked away from Tank Davis, man. Because look, we as American fans, and more importantly, our American boxers, right? They think the journey is all about them. Oh, it's my journey. Well, Lomachenko also has a journey. He also has a language, a culture, a perspective, and a legacy-defining career, right? Whereas Tank, he's only motivated by money, right? And it's very refreshing to see fighters like Lomachenko. They're obviously motivated by money, even more so when their country, after this war with Russia and Uzbekistan and all of these nations, they're gonna need money for reparations. So it would behoove Lomachenko to be like, yeah, dude, I'll fight you 10 years after the fact, way past removed from my prime, inactive, right? And my motivation for the sport of boxing after being robbed multiple times, right? So
Mhm.
it's very refreshing when war and his people and his country that he once loved, they're suffering, they're dying. He has to put on, you know, his army uniform, whether it's just for looks or motivation to his people. There is a big incentive for him to, yeah, try to cash out with a fight with Ryan Garcia, a rematch with Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. But he said, F you. And he walked
Mhm.
away. Well, at least he
Mhm.
walked away from it right now.
Yeah.
And again, they can fight at the end of the year, sometime next year. But as of right now, I'm glad, and I won't call Lomachenko a coward or I'm disappointed or he's scared. I'm glad that he chose to walk away from Tank, because Tank has to make his journey a completely different way rather than just mimicking Floyd Mayweather. For a dude
Mhm.
that criticize and talk shit about Floyd Mayweather and his daughter and all of these things, he sure tries to do every single step of the way and copy Floyd Mayweather's career to the wardrobe, to the fight dates. Dude, he is not unique. The only thing that's unique about him is that he's a knockout artist. That's it.
Mhm.
Aside from that, I mean, he's much more similar than he is different in every single step of the way. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm sick and tired of it. It's very cowardly like of these American fighters, and I'm glad that Lomachenko is like, nah, bro, I'm walking away, dude. As of for now, and then I have nothing else to prove. Again, that was nice. That was good to see,
Yeah.
bro.
You know, you know me, right? I am a proud Vasil High Tech Lomachenko fan. He is my favorite fighter. He's been my favorite fighter for years. And of course, when the thing about fanaticism, right? The thing about being a fan in the sport of boxing, especially, right? It's almost illogical to want to
Hello,
invest. Man, this guy and his timing, bro. You should be
dude.
a boxer because you have like the best timing, bro. You just hit me with a jab. You scared the crap out of me. I didn't even expect you to be there, man.
You know
Dream,
why?
why?
So I had my laptop set up. I was actually ready like 10, like I don't know how long you had this on for, but like
Like 10
10,
minutes, man. Come on.
yeah, like
Yeah,
3 minutes prior to going live, I was on here. I'm
yeah,
not sure if you checked, but yeah, I've
yeah.
been
No, I
I've been
did.
on this, and I was like, damn, I forgot my shit was on mute right now. That's why.
Yeah,
So I can
funny
hear.
thing is, not only does he have proper timing, homie, but he also knows when to do it. Like right there, when I was giving you my response, my opinion about the whole Lomachenko, Javante Tank Davis thing, that's when he hits me with that jab right there. He just cuts me off and he interrupts me, and he doesn't even apologize for it. Man, these American boxing fans. But no,
Yeah.
no, no. So Dream 123, thank you for joining us here today. We are going to be discussing one of my favorite boxer currently, right? Vasil Lomachenko. And of course, I'm sure that you've become privy since to the news of what transpired over the past few days. Vasil Vasily Lomachenko has decided to walk away from the negotiations with the Javante Tank Davis. Now, that's one of the most talked about fights in what 7 years, guys, 6 years easily. And for
Mhm.
whatever reason or another, like the homie Ricky is pointing out, a lot of what transpired to make this fight something inevitable, something that never did take place, was the negotiating tactics, the hardball negotiating tactics, take it or leave it, my way or the highway, uh, way of operating and managing Gervonta Tank Davis's career. Right now, they're not going to be fighting, and Lomachenko gave some reasons. Well, in fact, Lomachenko didn't really say anything, right? It was Igis Kremis, who's the one who spoke on his behalf. He's his manager, and he said, "Well, it's not going to happen, right?" He says, according to Igis Kremis, Loma is not in the right mood right now. He doesn't have the motivation at the moment. He's taking off. He wants to spend more time with the family. He doesn't want anything. He doesn't want to do anything until the end of the year. So he's definitely not coming to the ring until the end of the year. Now, that part about why he's doing it, right? He's not in the mood. He's not motivated. He wants to spend time with the family. Lomachenko is pretty prolific, right? He doesn't have those kind of careers where he could go on a year or two without fighting. He's always in the limelight. He's always fighting somebody. So I can understand that he may not have the motivation. And with the fact that the homie Ricky just brought up the two opportunities that he had to become to accomplish his dream of becoming undisputed, have in one case he robbed himself of that opportunity, in my opinion, or at least had a draw towards it, but he didn't do enough to secure that undisputed status against Teofimo Lopez. And secondly, when he did fight for an official undisputed status against Devin Haney, he, according to about 80-90% of all the world, he was robbed. One of the most blatant robberies at the highest of stakes of fights, right? Now, when those things happen, when you've been busy, when you've never reneged in a fight, when you've never made it hard to negotiate a fight with you, when you fought in all comers, and then you still get robbed, and that's your only dream in life, and your country is at war, I could understand that you may not be in the right mood, that you may not be motivated, that you may actually be tired, nearing 36 or so years of age. Dream, are you disappointed in Lomachenko and his excuse, or do you understand it? And do you think this is fair and square?
No, I mean, I think Loma. is obligated to, do what he wants. I mean, he is. I don't know how old he is exactly, but he's in his late 30s, and he wants to see his family, bro. I mean, um, yeah, he should take his time. Like, he should want to fight when he wants to fight. Um, especially when Tank just wants this guy right after he had a knockout win against Cambosis, but he wants him like right then and there. It's like, man, this guy wants him to get him when he's weak and all this, and like I think it's always best to fight when your mind is right. When your mind is all into it. So I mean, at least he was straight up. He said, I'm not interested in coming back right now. I'm not in the mood right now. So it's it's all mental, bro. Like, everything is mental, and I think um, getting your mind right for a fight like Tank is only right. I think he should wait. I mean, I kind of felt like it was a little too soon. I mean, um,
Whoa!
I would
Too
no,
soon
not too
for
soon.
what?
Not too soon as a fan standpoint. Not too soon. Like, I would love that fight and all that, but
Mhm.
uh, I was kind of like shocked. Like, it just didn't seem like Loma. I just didn't feel like Loma was that type of fighter where he would turn back immediately and fight someone like Tank. I just felt like either Loma was really confident or he's still thinking about it, and obviously he was still thinking about it because they were going through negotiations and all this. So, uh, yeah.
That's crazy because I see it completely opposite, guys. I see it as Lomachenko. He had to fight Gervonta Tank Davis now. And if he wasn't to fight him now, he should never fight him. Why? Because in my opinion, in my estimation, Vasily Lomachenko just proved that even at his mid 30s, he can knock out one of the black sheeps in the sport, uh, Georgie Ferocious Cambosis, in his own backyard, winning every single round and completely destroying that individual. In fact, I think Georgie Cambosis, his heart might be too big, but he probably should take a layoff to recover from the devastation that he received at the hands of Lomachenko. Now, the other thing about it is this: in my estimation, I'm one of those people that do believe that he beat Devin Haney fair and square, 8 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5, whatever. I think he completely won, and the rounds that were close, there was at least those rounds that were close. We can give those to Devin Haney, but in my opinion, he won 2 fights in a row. He should have been undisputed. He completely beat one of the best, highly skilled fighters of all, that was fighting like a throwback fighter, and Devin the Dream Haney. In my opinion, right now is the peak moment that Gervonta Tank Davis should have been next for that fighter, my favorite fighter. And of course, I was trying to get to that point that to be a boxing fan, a fan of man, basically, right? It's illogical because these guys don't live forever, and in fact, neither do we. But when they are at the top, of course, it's going to be easy for us to be fans. When they're at the bottom, it's going to be so difficult for us to continue to pursue and admire their career path as they continue to lose, as they continue to age. It's not going to last forever. So our fanaticism is a fleeting, momentaneous thing, right? So, but because you become a fan, for whatever reason you decide to invest emotionally, you always want your fighter to win. Now, when I think about the Gervonta Tank Davis and Vasily Lomachenko fight, I understand that age, wear and tear, the facility that Lomachenko makes his fights happen versus the hardball tactics and the advantageous opportunities that Gervonta Tank Davis imposes as clauses on his fights. I understand that all of the odds are against Vasily Lomachenko on paper, but on accomplishments, on skill set, on heart, on who he's fought, on experience, all of that is on Lomachenko, right? It's only a 50-50 because of the situations around it, right? But we do understand that there is at least 3 or 4 different ways that you can convince people that you can beat Lomachenko. And there is no way that you can look at any fight, except perhaps just the Pitbull Cruz fight, and say that there is formulas to beating Gervonta Tank Davis. What am I trying to get at here? If I was an irrational boxing fan, I would not want Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Vasily Lomachenko at this moment because I fear that Lomachenko will lose. But I cannot justify Lomachenko walking away from this opportunity at this moment, because if he ever wants to fight that guy, and he's been chasing it for years, in my opinion, this is the time, because it's never going to get any better for you. I think Lomachenko should either walk away from this opportunity forever, never looking back, and just defending his belt, consolidating and unifying against Dennis Beranchyk, and avoiding Gervonta Tank Davis at all costs, because it's never going to be easier.
Nah,
Yeah.
man. I don't agree with any of that, dude.
Mm.
I'll look at it like this, man. Tank don't dictate anything. You see, Tank, like, bro, honestly, Tank's irrelevant. Like, for Lomachenko's journey, Tank is irrelevant. You see, that ship has sailed. If I'm Lomachenko and his team and Igis Klimas, that Tank has sailed. That ship has sailed. I don't give a fuck about that fight no more, bro. And nor should the fans. You see? Because you got to look at it like this. When Tank was at that time, he was 21, 22 years old. It's relatively young, right? And Lomachenko, I don't know, he's 34 now, 35. He was probably 28 or 27, right? So that's much more, I guess, fair than a 35-year-old and Tank being 27, 28. Now, 35-year-old isn't necessarily too old, right? But like Drew said, when it came down to mental, boxing is it's all probably 85% of it. You have to be mentally in tune with your body, with your confidence level. You have to be motivated. Why would Lomachenko now be motivated by Tank Davis? You see, he was motivated for Devin Haney. There's undisputed. He's not motivated for another belt. If you watched his last interview, he goes, I didn't even want to come back to the sport of boxing. I thought that I accomplished everything after the Devin Haney fight. I believe that I won, you know. And he was like, the only reason why I even came back and fought George Kambosos was because my father, who he respects a lot, he kept showing him and, you know, sending him either text message or on Instagram, you know, reels and highlights of his performances. And it seemed that his father wanted to get and for his son to become a champion and end on a positive, championship worthy, knockout worthy note, and just be like, hey, walk out as a winner. Look how many times fighters have retired on a losing fight. Mikey Garcia, he got beat by not Errol Spence, Sandor Martin, and then retired. Oscar De La Hoya, probably the same. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I mean, there's probably a lot of fighters that retired, you know, as a loser. And Lomachenko was like, fuck that. Well, his father was like, nah, dude, let's not have your last fight, Devin Haney, and you retired because you lost to Devin Haney. And people can say, well, Devin Haney retired Lomachenko. You see what I'm saying? Look at Triple G. I think you can basically say Canelo retired him after that third fight. Unless Triple G had another, let me see. Maybe he had another fight after that. You see what I'm saying? So many fighters have retired with a loss on his record. Yeah. When Triple G fought Canelo back in 2022, which is fucking crazy to me, that's the third fight. He hasn't fought since then. You see? So his father was like, nah, dude, let's not retire as one of those. You know what I mean? So I don't think that he should look back and this is the perfect time. Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. This isn't, honestly, like I said, Tank Davis is irrelevant, right? He has so much fights that he could fight within his age group. Lomachenko it's not even a fantasy matchup, but it's one of those moments where it's like, we've already seen this story be told, right? We've already seen this story be told so many times, and it's boring. It's a boring ass story. It's not even, it's just told so many times. We saw it with Canelo and Triple G. We saw it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Even though you could be like, well, Floyd's older. What I'm saying is this: this over marination of fights. That's just what it is. Like it's boring, bro. It's really boring. Like, why can't we get like Abdullah Mason versus Keyshawn Davis right now? And then just like later down, you build a rivalry, and then 2 years later, depending on how great that fight was, you fight, 2 years from now. And then 3 years from now. And if you guys are still remaining, you fight again. That's what fucking Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley did. I think they fought 2 or 3 times, twice, really early in the career. Then they fought
Yeah,
back
but
later in the career. And those were all amazing fucking fights because guess what? They were still the last man standing.
they
Dream, you
fought
were
for a
gonna,
belt.
yeah, you
They
were gonna
fought
say
for
something,
everything.
Dream.
They fought for rivalry since the amateurs, bro. It's a great story that is just because there was no social media during the time, that they're not bigger than thou. You
Wait, wait,
see,
wait,
and the
wait.
thing
Let's see
with
what
these
Dream.
modern
Let's
hold
see
on, hold
what
on, hold
Dream
on.
wanted
And the
to
thing
say.
with and the thing with modern
Now go ahead.
fighters is it's just one and done. Oh, like for instance, Tank beats Pitbull Cruz on paper, but like how many people want to see that fight happen? I know that you're not a big component and like supportive of rematches, and but at the same time, it's like, they
Immediate
barely beat you,
rematches.
and then guess what? Oh, I never have to fight that dude ever again. Like
Or
Shakur right now. Look at Shakur's
immediate
career.
rematches, though.
Man, you guys
That's
don't
what I
even let
meant.
me talk. You talk,
You
bro.
just talked for 5 minutes. Dream wanted to say something. Dream, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that like all these guys, they fought for belts first, bro. Like I think with regarding like Keyshawn, bro, like they got to get a belt. I just feel like it's just too early, man. Mason got to get some build up fights, bro. Like just to build his name up. Like he's got the tools, but he just needs the right recognition first before he takes a fight like Keyshawn. I'm not saying Keyshawn is better or worse than Mason because that's like to me it's somewhat 50-50, like without me trying to get like biased or anything because I am gonna go for yeah, I was gonna say they both actually replied to my stories after I like um like reposted their stuff. So I'm a fan of both guys, but um if I'm gonna have to choose a guy, it would be kind of Mason, bro. Like, but I don't know. That's why like Mason isn't the more notoriety, like he doesn't have the most like followers. Like he is building it right now, but it's just like his profile is building right now. But I just feel like Keyshawn's kind of at a different level as far as like the his ratings and like the amount of people that actually know him and stuff like that. So I just feel like that one's too early. I just feel like they gotta let Keyshawn get a belt first. I don't know who he can beat, but yeah, like let
You
him
know
get a
that.
belt, and let them fight, and then make that happen. At least get a belt first, and then like do like a Roy Jones Jr., a Bernard Hopkins. They should have fought earlier than 2010, but they should have fought like in '03 or some shit like that. But yeah, no, stuff like that, bro. Like I just feel like they should wait just a little bit longer. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. I just want to see Keyshawn get a belt. But yeah, man. Go ahead, what were you
So
gonna
the
say?
over marination thing that the homie Rick is talking about, I completely understand it, right? Mayweather, uh, Pacquiao, completely over marinated. What, by like 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, depending on how long you've been eagerly waiting for that unification match. And then what happens is you watch them, and then that fight don't pan out, right? One of the most boring, anticlimactic fights that you can think of, right? It did so much harm. Now, let's contrast that to one of the fights that did not have any opportunity to marinate, but that it actually starred a couple of up and coming fighters. We had one of the Vargas, what was it? Emiliano? No, not Emiliano. It wasn't Fernando. It was the other kid. One of the other Vargas kids. One of the Vargas
Amado?
dynasty. Amado. Amado. He fought Ryan Garcia's brother. Uh, whatever that kid's name is,
John
right?
Garcia?
Yeah, there you go. See, thank you. I have a better memory. Thank you, guys. Right. So those guys did not have an opportunity to develop their career, get their name out there. You never ever got to see them fight, right? Especially Ryan Garcia's brother. I mean, I seen that guy fight once on the Golden Boy fight. Otherwise, the Vargas children, the Vargas progeny, are the ones that are more prolific, and they are more exposed to us through things such as MVP and Marv Nation. They've hosted those fights, but those are behind a paywall, and you never get to see them, right? These guys are guys trying to build their bones, and they fought in a pay-per-view event that starred some of the heavy hitters, some of the more well-known names in MMA. We had Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, right? And of course, you guys have heard the news. That thing apparently sold about 5,000 pay-per-views, right? Now, in the Warp Speed show, and even the homie Ricky, the way that we approach the sport of boxing is through the angle of not only a fan, because that's the first thing that we are, but in my case, in the case of you guys, in the case of myself at least, I am a father of fighting children. You guys have been fighters, right? So now you guys and myself, we look at it not only from the angle of being a fan, what fights we want to see, but we also start considering things such as how would you move your own career? How would you move my son's career? If you wanted to become triumphant, if you want him to get some name recognition, some accomplishments, and you want him to get some recompense, right? Now, this is the reason why I think this show is one of the more valuable shows out there in comparison to other ones that are just opinion based, right? Those opinion based shows that have people that don't partake in the sport. They've never laced them up. They've never fought. They don't have family to fight. They're just highly opinionated, sometimes very incredibly smart, but highly opinionated fans that don't know exactly how to maneuver a career, how to maneuver in the ring. Those guys can be very harsh on our fighters, right? We have to be more considerate because we are involved, right? So what I'm trying to say is this. In the case of Gervonta Tank Davis, he has been able to amass a reliable, although not record-breaking, fan base that continuously pays between 150 and 250,000 pay-per-views, enough for them to develop some kind of an expectation of what he is worth. They're also able to procure for him fighters with enough creative matchmaking that they continue to sell out. The fights actually are competitive enough because Gervonta Tank Davis has never been in a fight where he ends up beating a guy in one round. They said Brian Garcia, what, he beat him in 2, 3 rounds or whatever. Otherwise, he's able to go half of the rounds, maybe even all 12, right? That is creative matchmaking where he keeps his fan base happy and he makes himself some good money, right? And that is how we should look at the sport of boxing. In the case of Vasily Lomachenko, he's similar, except he doesn't sell pay-per-views because he doesn't care for that. He gets a lot of viewers. He gets paid handsomely enough for work. He doesn't complain about the money. He fights all the good names. He's never in a one-round knockout kind of situation. So it's very creative, very competitive matchmaking. Their careers are quite similar, except the only thing is this. In the case of Gervonta Tank Davis, the belts that he's hold are baby belts, and he does bring men up or bring men down in order to become triumphant. I, as a boxing fan, that's where I get involved and say, hey, I don't like that maneuvering, but guess what? It's working for him. Gervonta Tank Davis has made moves that behooved him. But let's not forget that my favorite fighter, Vasil Lomachenko, also brought up men like Guillermo Rigondeaux, and he also brought men such as Nicholas Walters from a long layoff to fight him, and that's how he got the acclaim, the nomenclature of being called Lomachenko. Guys, if we try to be harsh on one fighter, let's keep it legit, and let's admit that there is not one fighter that has been without the machinations and the chicanery, because this is the sport of boxing. You have to find a way to win.
Yeah, man. Um, Sorry,
I
I
mean,
was
wait. You guys interrupted me just to spill that nonsense. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you this,
This
bro.
guy right here.
Let me tell you this, bro. Oh my goodness. Keyshawn Davis, to your point, Drew, does not need to become a champion. Okay, like who has he fought, and why is he worthy to becoming a champion? Why does he get to cut in line when there's like 10 undefeated fighters at 135? Guys that are mediocre, like Raymond Murataya. For all intents and purposes, Abdullah Mason is mediocre. You see what I'm saying? Like all of these dudes, like bro, Tevin Farmer for Raymond Murataya was almost 3 years of inactivity. Now he fought twice last year, but none of the problem with boxing, and we haven't learned anything from female boxing, right? The problem with male boxing is that every single promoter wants to make every single one of their fighters a pay-per-view fighter. Every promoter wants to make every single one of their fighters on their stable a champion. They want to have all of them all undefeated. And when they're undefeated to 30-0, like Zurdo Ramirez, finally will have you fight a Bivol. You see what I'm saying? Like Zepeda, we'll get you Maxi Hughes. We'll get you Giovanni Cabrera. We'll get you all of these dudes, Jojo Diaz. And we'll just keep, boosting up your paper and your resume and get all these knockouts and make highlight reels. That's the problem with men professional boxers, is that they're trying to make everybody and suck out the juice and the money that they can bring, and then finally put them in a 50-50 fight where they call the shots, or they can pimp out the fans and exploit. Look at female boxing, honest and pure. Did they have to marinate Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner? Absolutely not. Fucking threw them in there, fought them, right? Same thing with Katie Holmes, Katie Taylor, and what's the other girl name? She just fought yesterday. Amanda Serrano. That's the problem with men boxers, is that at the end of the day, these female fighters are pure fighting and they're just getting shit done. And guess what? They're not even maximizing the most money out of their careers. Like, for example, Clarissa Shields. She's a 4-time undisputed, female boxing. I think her next fight is this coming up Saturday, and she's fighting for in the heavyweight division now, right? So why is she a pay-per-view star? She's done MMA. That's what everyone's been telling boxing to do. Hey, fighters, go over there to Joe Rogan and go fight them dudes and cross over. You see all these MMA fighters crossing over to the sport of boxing. That's what's wrong with the fans, and that's what's wrong with the sport, the aspect of the male fighters, is that we are condoning marinating fights. We are condoning, like, if you guys had it, you were talking about how you would politic and how to maximize, the career and maneuver with my son. At the end of the day, if you want to be honest with yourself, be Gabe Rosado and battle test your kid. And if he's got it and he can bang with the real dudes, then you have an honest intention of like, all right, my son can actually make it. Or you can do what Top Rank did with our boy Ruben Villa and have him 5 filler fights against Brandon Valdez, and then he finally gets beat from some dude from Uganda, and then we realize, oh shit, yeah, what we've been saying, and got a realistic impression of Ruben Villa. Okay, probably he doesn't mean to become a champion, and that's okay. And we have to be okay with our fighters losing. You can lose tonight, you can win tomorrow. You know what I mean? But these guys, mostly American fighters, and even Eastern European fighters, they pamper up all your careers. Like, how many times did Triple G fight the Steve Rolls of the world? Almost fucking 40 fights of his career were Steve Roses of the world. Curtis Stevens along the way, guys that, people thought they were going to be great. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with male boxers. It's like, dude, stop trying to have 30 or 40 fights. If you're the goods enough, just accelerate your career. Have 30 amazing professional fights, maybe with a record of 27-4, 26-5, or whatever. It's still good and an honorable, and you're going to make a lot of money. The problem is these guys just want to have longevity. And how you have longevity in the sport of boxing is what? Ducking, fighting mediocre competition, knocking them out in 2 rounds. That's what's wrong with male boxers. And I guarantee you this, once more often that these guys lose, the more quickly that they're going to get back into the ring, and you're going to pull out the weeds and find out, which fighters are truly going to blossom. Everybody says, oh man, I was so, pressure of being undefeated. Where when I finally lose, look at Caleb Plant. Fought a bunch of cherries after beating Uskatagi. Then he fought Caleb Truax, Mike Fagan Butts, Mike Lee, got his ass beat by Canelo. And then what did he soon do after? He fucking fought David Benavidez. Now he wants to fight Edgar Berlanga. Like, Caleb Plant's career is barely starting.
Yeah,
It's way better
that's a
now
good
than
point.
it was when
That's a
he's
great point.
fucking fighting 15 nobodies. Look at Triple G. He was fighting nobodies, and when he fought, even going to the Canelo fight, he fought Danny Jacobs once. Like, the pressure started to actually, like, Triple G's back end career was much better than his beginning career. You know what I mean? Same thing with Tank Davis. If Tank Davis were to fight, I don't know, let's say Teofimo Lopez, and Teo supposedly, let's say he beats Tank, I guarantee you Tank will then fight George Kambosos. I guarantee you he'll probably look to fight Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Pitbull Cruz, Edwin de los
Hmm.
Santos. But
Hmm.
right now he's gonna be like, oh nah, where can I find the next Frank Martin? Okay, maybe that's Frank Martin. Then he's gonna find, I can knock out Raymond Murataya. I can. And he's gonna just keep maneuvering the things. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, nah, bro. You
Yeah,
guys, the
no, no,
men,
yeah, those are great points for me, Ricky. That is great. That is true. Um, but that is not applicable to everybody, right? Like we just talked about it in a couple of lives, before this one. In the case of Ruben Villa, one defeat ended up making him a fighter that was reluctant to take on all positions. So it really just depends on the management and the ambition of the fighter. And yes, in the case of some fighters, the O leaving them from the repertoire frees them to take on all fights, to just be like, you know what, let's just do it for the fun. Let's not do it for 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 the fact that I will one day be known as the best fighter in the world because I was undefeated, right? Because that is a rarity. It is an aberrant to go on and become a fighting individual, fighting the best names out there and be undefeated. It is a thing of legends to have that kind of a career, right? You can go and look at Floyd Mayweather's, but guess what? That's not the only way to become legendary. Look at Manny Pacquiao's career. He has like 7, 8 losses, and he's still a legend. One of the best fighters I've ever seen in my life in any mixed martial art form. So yeah, so I believe you're right. I believe it's very delicate, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, homie Ricky. There has to be a balance. Just because you lose does not mean all of a sudden you just take on fights that you will have no shot at winning because you're no longer afraid of winning. I mean, of losing, right? You have to still maneuver yourself in a way that you want to become triumphant. Just because you become a one-time loser does not mean you accept being a loser. And all of a sudden, you just want to take on fights for the sake of it. You still have to think about money, think about career, think about all those things. You just free yourself from the burden of the pressure of being an undefeated fighter, right? That's it. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, in my opinion, my favorite fighter, Vasily Lomachenko, should either one, never fight Gervonta Tank Davis, and two, I am a little disappointed because if he ever planned on doing that, then right now would have been the perfect time for it. Here's the thing, though: not all hope is lost.
wait.
Like Igis Klima said, he has no plans to fight until the end of the year. That does not rule out the fight. That just means he's taking a couple of months off to
He
be with
said
his family.
he said December, but the fight was initially gonna get scheduled for November, so
Yeah,
that is towards the end of the year. You
yeah.
know, so it's really just what, one more month to wait. You
No,
know,
but I
so
think
I
what he
don't know.
means is we'll negotiate starting December. That's what
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna cancel for a month. No, he's saying, look, the next 6 months are off. I'm not negotiating. And you know what? Here's the thing. I was gonna just propose something out there, right? Because we don't know the insider trading, we don't know the insider negotiation tactics between them. But I wonder how much of his decision to walk away from the fight had to do with the hardball negotiating tactics of Gervonta Tank Davis's team. I wonder because we know that Gervonta Tank Davis will negotiate very similar to President Trump, right? He will come out on top and screw you. I wonder what effect those negotiations had on Vasily Lomachenko's decision to decide that this was not the right time. Because one thing we know about Loma, he won't speak about it. Igis Klimas is very reluctant to say anything bad about any fighter, especially in the negotiations, right?
Good.
So
You're supposed to
yeah,
keep
yeah,
your
yeah.
mouth shut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is, what if they did say something like, "Bro, you want me to fight you for $1 million?" Right? Imagine that. Then you would have been like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Because right now everybody's being completely harsh on Vasily Lomachenko. They are saying that he's ducking. They are saying that he knows that he's gonna get knocked out. That's why he doesn't want it. I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't think Javante Tank Davis has ever fought anybody with the skill set, with the confidence, with the aggression, or the footwork of Lomachenko. So I don't think he's just gonna walk through that guy because what he walked over Ryan Garcia, right? Because he walked over Hector Luis Garcia. Like, no, this is a complete different animal. One of the best fighters in the sport of boxing right now. So whatever,
Yeah,
man.
no, I mean, also this, it's like who cares about Tank Davis's demands? I don't know if he wants 40 million, 25 million, 100 million guaranteed. The reality is this, man. And the thing is this, the dude's a joke. I would rather have Vasily Lomachenko fight his countryman Baranchenk in the capital of the Ukraine at Kiev. Why not? During the time of war. It doesn't have to be a real fight. It can just be, unification, maybe an exhibition match. I don't even know. But just letting the world know, hey, it might be in proper timing, because there's much better things to do, but it might just reinvigorate the fighting spirit of that country over there. What does Tank do? Nothing, bro. If I'm Lomachenko, I'm putting my foot on the ground and be like, I want a homecoming fight. That's it. I want a homecoming fight. I want to fight in front of my people. I want to showcase my talent one last time to them. That's what I'm doing. You know, Tank Davis. Look, his career, the way I look at it, is barely starting. I don't even know if it's ever really began. You know, in terms of him being his own man, because he's still copying the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. He's not interested. Well, he's talked about being undisputed, but when he was interviewed, it was just more like, well, his for his legacy. You see, but the reality is, this guy has no interest of fighting all of these fighters. Like, Tank, this is at your best right now. Fight all of these dudes. But the reality is, he doesn't want to, and he's older than all of these guys. So it's like, if he really wanted to, he can fight Shakur now. He can fight Teofimo Lopez now. Devin Haney. He can fight all of these guys because apparently he's a fucking big star. I mean, that dude, generates more than the Klitschko brothers. Tank's amazing star. His Tank Davis promotions generates $40 million a year. Like, oh my goodness, bro, it's unheard of. The reality is, he's not that big of a star. If he was such a big star, like if you're a big star, bro, and Turki Ali Sheik is interested in paying you top dollar with probably pay-per-view upside, are you gonna ask for two Ferraris? Why the fuck would you ask for two Ferraris? Why not ask for two big ass mansions and fucking 100 acres in Saudi Arabia? You see what I'm saying? This dude is still
Cause he a
thinking
sucker.
small.
Cause he
Yeah,
a sucker.
absolutely, because he thinks fucking small, bro. You know what I mean? This guy said that he don't really care about the sport of boxing. He wants to fucking retire from this sport, get away from it, never come back, and own an island somewhere. Well, guess what, Tank? If that's your goal, which I'm pretty sure that's almost damn near every single person's goal here, you're only going to get that by building proper fucking fights. Not fighting
Yeah,
the Frank Martins of the world. You've been knocking out the Frank Martins of the world. And Frank Martin's a great fighter. Well, he's a good fighter, but he's not a champion. He's not unified. You know what I mean? You already have the highlight knockout reels. Now you have to cement yourself on the. I mean, a lot of people put Tank Davis on the pound for pound list, but for what? Who the
I don't
fuck
know.
has he beaten to be on a pound for pound list? Has he beaten a Dimitri Bivol like fighter? Has he fought a Dimitri Bivol like fighter? Has he fought an equivalent version of a Bud Crawford like Errol Spence did or something like that? No, dude, he hasn't. You know what I mean? And that's just the cold-blooded reality. It's like, and this is the extreme boxing fans. These are Canelo Alvarez is having Tank Davis on a pound for pound list. I think Canelo knows a thing or two about boxing, You know what I mean? So if for him to have Tank Davis on the pound for pound list, that outweighs what you, me, and anybody can say on this shit regarding Tank. But the reality is, even these fighters are fan of man. You know what I mean? And they don't even hold themselves to the standard. Like if I'm Canelo Alvarez, I'm like, bro, Tank Davis is not the face of boxing. Who has he fought? I have to fight Caleb Plant. I gotta fight another undefeated fighter, Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, Bivol, Kovalev, knock all of these dudes out. And I'm supposed to put Tank Davis because he knocked out Frank Marr on the pound for pound list. You guys didn't give me no fucking credit when I stepped Kovalev or when I made Jermell Charlo take a fucking knee. And these dudes were undisputed and unified fighters. But this dude knocks out some fucking type of ghost. And oh my God, he's the boxing's greatest shit. He's one of the pillars of the world. No, dude. And that's why. And that's what I'm saying. Even fighters like Canelo, they're the problem. And you and me will condone it. Oh, because he did great in 2021, dude. He went on and fought 3 undefeated amazing fighters. But where is Billy Joe Saunders now? Where is Callum Smith at now? Where is Caleb Plant at now? They're not relevant, bro. Billy Joe Saunders is back up to 285 pounds, right? Callum Smith, I mean, I don't even know if he's fighting anymore. You don't hear nothing about him. Caleb Plant, he's busy smacking Ryan Garcia's foul mouth, which is great. That's the only probably true credible fight right there. Where is Kovalev? Dimitri Bivol, I mean, he's a great fighter, but he's not multi-division champion. He's not unified. He's not played the pound for pound game, going down, go up. And he can. The dude's a big dude.
Yeah, well, okay,
bro.
wait. Before we go on there, guys,
suck,
look, wait up, guys. Before we go on to doing disrespecting the fighter's career just because he defeats somebody, and then the way that he defeats somebody, those defeated fighters change the way that they manage their own career or conduct their lives. I think that's foul. I think that's secondary. I think that's a byproduct of things outside of their control. Like, for example, you brought up Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan beating Kovalev, and then where's Kovalev now? Right? What the heck does that have to do with Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan beating that guy, and the other guy deciding to take a year hiatus or two, walking away from the sport on account that he made some money and he got defeated and knocked out convincingly by a shorter fighter? What does that have to do? You're trying to question. Wait, you're trying to question.
Wait up. Canelo credit. Hold on. They didn't give Canelo credit for knocking out Kovalev, who was unified. They didn't give Canelo knocking out undisputed. Basically.
I got that point. But you also.
After he did knock him out, where are they at now?
See, so but that's the question. That
Canelo,
question.
Why am I giving Tank all this credit for doing?
I know, but that question, the way that you phrased that question, seems to minimize the importance of the accomplishments of that fighter. Like, for example, right? You talked about Billy Joe Saunders. What happened after he got beat? He never came back. It's been 2.5 years. I think that's outside of the control of Canelo, right? He broke his orbital bone. Some people are very proud individuals that have this immense pride, and they will not allow themselves to go back in there and show their face after such devastation, especially when they're persona non grata. Remember, Billy Joe Saunders was a despicable individual. Remember, the Kovalev was a despicable individual, allegedly a drunk that used to beat up on his wife, right? So what I'm saying is this. They get manhandled and they believe in karma, and then that affects them and their ego, and they don't want to come back. In the case of somebody like, let's say, Gervonta Tank Davis beating some fighters and then they never rebounding, guess what? That's outside of their control. We can only take a fight for who they are, fighters for who they are at the moment. It has nothing to do with what happens afterwards, right? It's like saying Sean Porter was nobody because Terrence Crawford made his dad throw in the towel in 6 rounds, right? It's just, we go down the slippery slope where we start disrespecting all of these fighters and what they have done on account of their defeats being so convincing that all of a sudden nothing that they did before matters, because what happens after is so outside of the normal of what you and I expect, right? But guys, you brought up something, right? And this is something that I just wanted to ask you guys. You guys brought the conversation to Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan, right? Canelo, in short. And there's a lot being said about Canelo in the next fight that he's gonna be taking. Right? There's been names like Berlanga, and there's been names like David Benavides. Well, not David Benavides. It's never really been one of the more credible offerings that they've presented. They've talked about Chris Eubank Jr. They talked about all of these fighters, right? I said David Benavides. And it sounds like a lot of the times people are being very, very critical of the offerings that Saul and his team are presenting to the boxing world as an undisputed champion who has 4 belts and he could pick and choose from any of the sanctioning bodies at the moment to defend. Let me ask you, Dream, if you're still listening, because I know you placed yourself on mute and you haven't had an opportunity to talk. Do you fault Canelo for taking on names such as Chris Eubank or Edward Berlanga or whoever else is being talked about? And do you think it is unfair and picking from low hanging fruit, in your opinion? Or is Canelo so good that guess what? He already cleared out that division and no names there remaining are good enough for him in the boxing world? What do you think?
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Eddie Medi also brings up what's his name in Billy. I forget what his name is. His first name is, but in Billy, that's another one of those offerings. If he gets past Lomachenko,
Christian and Billy.
or Christian and Billy. Okay, Christian and Billy. Okay, is Canelo at fault because he beat everybody that you know of that has any kind of name recognition? Is he a victim of circumstance, or are we being unfair?
Christina. Nah, man. Look, I'm glad that Canelo is fighting all of these Christian and Billy's, Eric Bazinian from Canada, Edgar Berlanga, Diego Pacheco. Go knock all these dudes out. My problem is just don't fight every 6 months. Just fight these dudes and make your own weight class. Go back to making Canelo weights and not struggling to make weight. You already undisputed. You know, you don't want to defend your belts against your only probably true competition at that weight class, David Benavides. If at best he's the only competition there, just go back to making your weight class at 173 pounds. So you just lose 1 pound, knock these dudes out because they're going to want the paycheck, but just fight these dudes. Don't go through long camps just so you can lose 30 pounds. Just fight on whatever weight class that you want, and I guarantee you they'll take the fucking fight. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, just fight these dudes. But if you're going to fight once or twice a year, then it has to be the top fighters. You see,
Yeah.
I was looking at just Clarissa's resume, and in 2018, she fought 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
If you go look at Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., he used to probably fucking fight 17 times a year. Who knows, bro? You know what I mean? Probably twice a month. Just do that. And I guarantee it's like boxing needs just especially the men division. They just need a complete makeover. And the reason why these guys have only fight once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, if we're lucky, is because all of these dudes are weight bullies. All of them. They need 2-3 months to lose 25 fucking pounds. Because let me tell you this, bro. If you're that dude and you just love to fucking fight, you're like Derek Chisora. You just fucking fight regardless of the weight class. Hey, I'll fucking fight Joe Joyce. I'll go fight Tyson Fury 2-3 times. I'll go fight like you just go. If you're a fighting man, you're a fighting man, period. You don't care about the weight class. You know, you're angry right now. Just go pick a fucking fight with a random stranger and go make some money off of it. You see, but the reality is all of these fighters are businessmen. All of them. And in order for them to sustain this income and this business, they have to cherry pick, they have to duck, and they have to be weight bullies. That's why all of these negotiations are drawn out. Because let me put it to you like this. If you and me wanted to fight, we can just have Drew film the fight. You know, we can have our parents be the judges. Drew can be the recorder and the ref in the fight. We can fight in the backyard, and we can have 5 family members all throw in $20, and you just meet, and the winner just takes home the break, and we just make 200. If you and me wanted to fight, we could just do that right now.
Damn,
Yeah.
right
Bro,
now.
to promote a fucking fight does not take 3 or 6 months. These dudes are not doing world tours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me put it to you like this: Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. They went to California, they went to Canada, they went to New York. You know what I mean? They went to all of these outlets all in a week's notice, bro. There was no time for marination like Pacquiao. They just fucking went straight to the point. That's all you need. You see, a lot of people, when you are focused so much on weight cutting and losing 25 pounds, people forget that you're even fucking fighting. You need 10 promo videos, behind the scenes, 2-day weight cuts. You need all of these things. You need to do all of these medias. You need a tweet on Twitter because these promotion negotiations, they're so prolonged. They're marinated in themselves. The whole sport of boxing right now, men's sports, fucking sucks, dude. It is just drawn out. Look at football or basketball or baseball. There's a baseball game every single day, right? In football, when they have their season, it's like Monday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, sometimes Saturday in London. They're global. There's a schedule back to back to back to back. There's always something going on. You might be a loser next week, you're a winner next week. You got blown out last week, you fucking blow out that same team the following weekend. You get what I'm saying? Like, you just got to keep the ball rolling. And you don't need no promotion because the fights promote themselves because you're so active. Boom, 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 boom. You fight in Montreal. You go fight in New York. You fucking fight in a boat in Niagara Falls. It don't even matter, bro. Just like the sport of boxing needs a complete makeover, right? Like, how long have we always been asking for stacked undercards? So when Turkey Ali Sheik comes, oh my God, he's giving us stacked undercards, right? It just feels so refreshing when they should have been doing this 20 years ago. Canelo, Floyd was only giving us the co-main event somewhat to be relevant, right? And then he had Canelo on the co-main event fighting Ponchito Gomez or whatever the case may be. I'm just throwing out names. You know what I mean? Canelo, you don't even tune in for his co-main events. Like, if I tell you Canelo just fought, I don't even know who he fought, but what was his co-main event? You don't even know.
He had that one guy that
Who did Canelo even fight in his last fight in Cinco de Mayo? Oh, Jaime Munguia.
great
Right?
fight.
That was a great fight. But you almost kind of forget about it because you're like, damn, bro, like, Canelo doesn't even talk about the fight. They don't even interview Jaime Munguia. Hey, your flaws and what you gained. What's your knowledge that you gained from it? If you were to rematch, like, they don't even film study. Like, bro, let me tell you this. If I'm Jaime Munguia and I just went 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, I'm milking my loss out of that situation. I'm doing interviews. I'm maybe even having a face-off. I have with Canelo and just talking about the fight, kind of like Marco Antonio Barrera and Morales are doing in the moment, in my prime. We're studying the fight. We're talking about it like, fuck, Canelo, like, how'd you know to throw an uppercut right there? It was like, you kind of hunched over, you got close, you're getting a little confident. Boom, te pegué, güey, te tomates, no mames, güey, no manches. And then I have Tecate sponsoring me. Then I'm talking to Freddie Roach the next weekend. I have a video coming out, and I'm talking with Freddie Roach. Hey, Freddie, what should we have done? Did I not listen to instruction? Like, I'm stretching out my loss. Everybody sulks, and I'm like, hey, sorry guys, I got beat. It was in God's plan. It's never losses. I'm just always learning. It's just,
You
like,
know
no,
what?
bro.
There's a couple of
Ashton
things that
Sylve. Hold on.
there's a couple of things that I disagree with that you stated, homie Ricky, and I can't condone it.
Fucking
You
hate
actually
talking to
said
you, dude.
you said Canelo Alvarez should bring back Canelo weight. Even though one of the biggest reasons why Canelo gets disrespected is because he was pulling the Canelo weight, bringing up men like Amir Khan and that other British guy. I can't remember. There was Smith, I believe, up in weight to knock them out convincingly, right? Liam Smith, and those kind of fighters. And he of course took a lot of criticism by bringing I think it was maybe Cotto that brought him up to Cotto weight or something like that. But he's never been accredited for those kind of wins on account that he was playing the weight game. He was playing the weight bully, the weight manipulation game. The same thing we've been very harsh and critical about Gervonta Tank Davis. I cannot believe you condone that on account that he is an undisputed fighter. That doesn't make any kind of sense. Now you're thinking, no, you already explained to you. I'm just telling you that you're being very hypocritical when you apply one thing and you excuse it on one fighter and you excuse it on the other. right? That's all I'm trying to say. It,
No,
it
no,
doesn't matter. You can flip whatever you're gonna say, Omi Ricky, but it's very
no,
hypocritical,
because
right?
you missed an important part. I said if Canelo's not interested in fighting his only threat in David Benavidez and his mandatory for the last couple of years, then just fight all of these dudes like Christian and Billy and fight them in your own weight class. Make Canelo wait. If you're not going to
Well, wait,
fight
wait, wait,
the
wait.
only threat in your
168 is
division.
his weight class. What
No,
he
but
is?
but what I'm saying is we're not asking for in Billy or Eric Bazinian or any of those guys.
Okay,
If you're
yeah.
not going to fight your mandatory for the last couple of years, and the only dude that's perceived to be the only threat at 168, and that's David, even at best, I'm literally repeating myself, and that's verbatim.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
just go fight all of these dudes and Canelo weight. Why? Because you already undisputed. You
No,
already a
I would
cash cow.
prefer I
Wait,
would
wait, wait, wait.
prefer not to take on
When he
Canelo
was
weight. I would
fighting,
prefer that he just abandon all the belts. That would be
or
the
he
best
can do
thing.
that too. Or he
That
can
would
do
be the
that
best
too.
thing, though.
But wait. Because he's already quote unquote paid his dues. You're already undisputed. You
There's no
already
such
went
thing.
on.
There's no
Hold on.
such
Yes,
thing.
yes, he can. Let me explain to you why. Because when he was 23 and fighting, or 25 and making Amir Khan move up to fight at ridiculous weight classes at 155, or fighting Chavez Jr. at 164, knowing the motherfucker can't even make 168 properly, then you haven't paid your dues, mamon. You haven't fucking fought those dudes. You didn't fight Triple G to fucking make these demands. Now that you have met the demands and you fought Triple G's in Bivol and you're undisputed, now you paid your dues and you can do whatever the fuck you want. But at early stages in your career, making Amir Khan move up when he shouldn't even be a welterweight, like, what are we talking about here? That's why he got criticized and he gets no love and respect for those weight classes. Now, you can do whatever the fuck you want. All of these
Look,
dudes are doing whatever they want. Well, why not? That's the big
yeah,
difference.
yeah, yeah. No, I get that. But what I'm saying, the best thing right there would be to relinquish all of the belts, and not, and then win them one by one, right? Because then that would be just much more interesting. To bring Canelo weight. No, 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 no. Canelo weight, no, no, no. Never get any kind of credit from me. Fight fair and fair. And to say that Canelo weight is not 168, Canelo weight is definitely 168. He made that a super middleweight division into a glamour division. He became undisputed in that. So no, that is definitely the best weight for Canelo. It's definitely where he has become
And he
accomplished.
can,
And in fact, wait up. And in fact, let's tell you how dominant he is. This is how we know this is his division, right? Let me just read out the names to you. And the reason I brought this up is because, again, Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan is now being discredited and criticized by a lot of the boxing world on account that he won't take David Benavidez, which is true. We know that the reason he's not fighting that guy is all on his will, even though one of our listeners, my beloved friend Ebner Ortega, he says right here, those clauses, the weight division clauses and everything, stopped after Golden Boy contract. That is true. But now the fact that Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan del Canelo is not fighting David Benavidez, that is all exclusively his own actions. The reason why he's calling out Chris Eubank Jr., bringing him up from 160 to 168, that is his own clauses, his own demands. So let's not say that Canelo is now moving like the perfect fighter, now that he's been liberated from the obligations, the contractual obligations of Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, because now he is resorting to the creative matchmaking. And here's one thing that I do agree with the homie Ricky, right? Let's just understand why the homie Ricky said that he should bring up, he should have Canelo weight. Why? Because Canelo weight will allow for creative matchmaking where we can get names that will bring some intrigue to his fights. Let's just run down his opponents, guys. At 168, this is how we know 168 is Canelo's best weight. Because if I name you Christian and Billy, they're gonna say, who's that? The Frenchie? If we say Jaime Munguia, oh, the guy who Canelo beat. We say Diego Pacheco, oh, the guy with 18 fights. If we go Kevin Lele Sajo, who? Osleis Iglesias, who? Eric Basinian, Sergey Deremchenko. Oh, Sergey Deremchenko, the guy was beaten. He's been beat by everybody, including Jaime Munguia and Danny Jacobs and Triple G. If we say Caleb Plant, he's beaten him. Edgar Berlanga, who? Luka Plantic, Vladimir Shishkin, Demetrius Andrade. Oh, Bektemir Melikuziev, Lester Martinez, Serhat Guler. Who? If we start going through all of these names, guys, you're gonna find it criticism. Why? Not because those guys have not put in their work, not because those guys have not climbed up the ranks, but it's because we as the boxing fans are so ignorant about global boxing that we don't understand what these names are. We don't know how to pronounce them, and as such, we tend to think they are nobodies. When the world was presented by the IBF the demand for Saul Santos Alvarez to defend his next belt in line, which is the IBF, and they said we're bringing on Cuban expat who is now living in Germany, William Skoll. What did they say? Who is William Skoll? Right? This is the ignorance of the American and in fact the global boxing world. 168, we can run down all of these names, guys, and nobody is gonna be happy. And it's not Canelo Alvarez's fault. Why? Because he's cleared out all of the division and all of these fighters are next. If you say Saul Santos Alvarez shouldn't fight any of these guys, then one, you don't respect the hard work that these fighters have been doing in order to get themselves ranked in those positions to fight for them. You are an ignorant boxing fan that you just like to go with the moment. You are a hyped individual that falls for the promotional game. Instead of just clearing out everybody that gets in your name, the boxing world, they will not be contented if the names are hard to pronounce. So Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan only has one guy that he has to answer questions for. That is David Benavidez. And if that fight hasn't happened, it's exclusively an account of him because the world of boxing has been saying that name. And I don't necessarily exculpate or free from any kind of responsibility and fault David Benavidez because we know he's been mandatory for years and he's never called for that. I understand. I don't know why he doesn't call for that. I would sue the sanctioning bodies for allowing so many years to go by without the mandatory defense. But at the same time, he hasn't sued them. He hasn't called them out. He hasn't executed that right. I don't know why. It almost seems like they're in cahoots with each other. It almost seems to me that between those two guys, they're hyping it up on the side, over here in the back thing, always talking bad about each other in order to marinate it to become a massive fight. But I don't know. What do you think, Dream?
Yeah, look, man, as a boxing fan, you can always boycott a fighter. You know, you don't gotta watch a fighter. Like that's what I realized, and that's how you kind of stand on shit. You know, like you don't gotta watch it. You know, you can be interested in the undercard. I mean, you know, but you can decide not to buy these pay-per-views and not watch the fight and watch it on the replay. You know, yeah, it's just I think dudes like Canelo have you know, they have a plethora of options, right? And I just feel like he knows his fan base is gonna buy whatever pay-per-views he's gonna do, you know. And you know, at this point, I mean, obviously it's Benavidez over everybody, but if we got to choose between William Skoll, Chris Eubank, and Berlanga, and I don't know if there's any other options. You know, I wouldn't want him to fight Shane Mosley Jr. You know, like that would be like I don't want them to chase that. You know, like yeah, I would take up Berlanga, just because he's really cocky, bro, and he's really ignorant. And he's not like that, you know. So I want someone to kind of, you know, go in there and kind of humble him. But I mean, at this point, we're being conditioned to take the least, you know, out of that dudes like that, you know. So yeah, no, it is what it is at this point, man. Ow.
Let me ask you a question, Drew. But why is it David Benavidez? Why do we think that David Benavidez, you know, deserves a Canelo shot over Chris Eubank and all of these dudes?
Hold on.
because of who he's fought. He beat Demetrius Andrade. He did beat Oleg Vozdik, and he did beat Caleb Plant. Speed had a horrible angle. Oh, you're just ignorant about the global sphere of boxing. No, we're not supposed to know these dudes from way the fuck over there when they haven't fought nobody in the same respective sanctioning body. There was this guy named Christian Palomero or something like that. He was Errol Spence's IBF mandatory for like 6 fucking years, and he never imposed his mandatory position. Never. He just always kept paying the top IBF money fee. And then Carlos Ocampo got the call, and he fought him. Carlos Ocampo was 25-0. Were we supposed to know Carlos Ocampo? No. You know why? Because he didn't fight another dude that we knew of. There was no reference point.
But
Wait,
as a
you're
mandatory,
just proving my point, homie. You're
No,
saying that you never knew of. That you never knew of.
Bro. Wait. The take is horrible. We're supposed to know
That
every
you
single
never
aspect
knew
of
of.
global. Hold on. We're supposed to know the global aspect of the world. No, because the reality is this. Jaime Munguia was undefeated. That's one fighter. How did he fight 44 people? And we still don't even know if he was good at 168. What about Christian and Billy? Has he fought in the other undefeated Edgar Berlanga? What
Correct
about
me.
Demetrius Andrade? What about David Morrell, Jose Iglesias, Kevin Lee, Diego Pacheco, Eric Bazinian, Vladimir Shishkin, Pavel? All of these dudes, there's like 25 fighters in the top 30 that are undefeated. In my opinion, those are too many undefeated fighters not fighting one another. How do these guys just continue to fight whoever they fight? Let's look at William Skoll. Dude, this dude is Cuban. I didn't even know he was fucking Cuban. I thought he was German.
Yeah, me
William
too.
Skoll is Cuban. He lives in Berlin, Germany. He's 22-0 with 9 KOs, 32 years old. But let me ask you guys this, and I feel like all of us are pretty good hardcore boxing fans. Who is Sean Hemphill? Ever heard of a Sean Hemphill?
Homie Ricky, are you? My God, you're saying the same exact thing. You are demonstrating your ignorance. No, wait. You just asked the question. Let us answer. You just asked the question. Didn't you? Wait. You just asked.
Sean Hemphill is?
Look, let me answer. That's your question, right? So you're gonna interrupt me to ask the same question. Let me answer you who that guy is. Let me answer. You asked the question. Now I'm gonna answer. Dream can answer right after that. You asked who is whatever the heck, right? You know who he is? He's the guy that you don't know because you are ignorant. The fact that you are ignorant is exactly exemplified by not knowing. You're supposed to worry about climbing up the ranks, not whether or not you got an opportunity to see a fighter because they have the promotional machine behind them. You understand that a lot of the fighters that you know is only because of promotions, right? Because there's people with big money that have put them in those opportunities so that you can know them. And a lot of the fighters that you know, homie Ricky, just happen to be American, or they happen to be fighting in America, right? But you take them outside of the sphere of influence of American promotional companies, and guess what? All of a sudden, you don't know them, and because you don't know them, you somehow construe that to mean they're not accomplished, or they haven't put in the work to climb up the ranks. Here's the thing. In the case of Saul Santos, in the case of Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan, if you can go through all of the names that I just gave you at 168 and you don't know them, homie Ricky. So what are you gonna say that Saul should do? Oh, get creative with his weight. Oh, he should start manipulating weights so that he can start fighting names that you know for your comfort, right? So that you can feel comfortable knowing that you know those names because you think knowing those names means they're good fighters. That's a ridiculous take on me, Ricky. Ridiculous, absurd take. In fact, Saul Santos Alvarez Barragan got the name recognition after he climbed up the ranks, and then he got the opportunity to fight names that you know. And where is he at right now? He's the guy that you're excusing.
First and foremost, that's not the take that I said. I gave you 25 almost undefeated fighters, and I told you the reason why we don't know these guys is not because of the promoters or the promotion or because they're global and they fight out of Germany. No, we don't know these guys because they fought nobody. How you 32-0 and we don't know you? I know Eric Bazinian because I've been betting against him for the last 3 fights. I've been watching his fights.
He just got a
Canadian network. But do you know Eric Bazinian? Do you know who he's fought in?
Remember we were talking about him, Rick?
No, I know we talk about him because there's always the bookies. The reason I know these guys is because of Bovada and the betting websites. And I look up all of these names and see who I can bet up against. But let me ask you guys, you don't know Eric Bazinian because his resume stinks. Because we don't know who he's fighting. Vladimir
Yeah,
Shishkin. We only
that's a
know of
circular
him.
argument, homie Ricky. That's circular argument.
No, dude, what I'm trying to say
Let's
is
bring it
this.
up to another.
Wait. David
Oh
Benavidez.
God.
The reason why I asked Drew the question, why do we have David Benavidez as the guy that Canelo should fight next? Because we have reference points and people that we know, not because they've been on pay-per-view or promotion, but because, well, obviously that does help out a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not going to deny that aspect, of course, because the top pure promotional companies or the top pure American, they showcase these fighters. Obviously, that helps out tremendous for people to know exposure, right? Obviously, sphere of influence, whatever the case may be. But also because we know that and we acknowledge that he's eliminating reputable people. Eric Bazinian, we don't even know if he can beat Jaime Munguia. We don't know if
And we'll
Eric
never
Bazinian.
know, and we'll
Hold on.
never know if they never get a shot because homie Ricky doesn't know them.
But my
Okay, let's move
thing
on
is
to another
this.
topic.
Wait. Why do they get a shot of Canelo Alvarez when they should be getting a shot of fighting one another? Is
Because
my
they
argument.
pay sanctioning,
If Eric
they say
Bazinian,
they've been paying
wait.
sanctioning
If Eric
bodies and they're up
Bazinian,
there.
if Eric Bazinian got to fight Christian and Belly, I guarantee, and he beat Christian and Belly, I guess what? I guess we will know that Eric Bazinian was a good fighter. The problem with these dudes are that the reason there's 25 undefeated fighters is they're all circumventing fighting one another. So guess what? They can get the opportunity against Canelo, not because they earned the right. It's because
Dream,
they
let
took
me
the
ask you
path of
something.
least resistance to
Yeah,
get that fight. And
I'm sure.
Canelo's
I know.
like,
Yeah,
it ain't going to be David.
Least resistance. Dream, let me ask you something. Did you get to watch the fights that took place in Japan over the weekend? Saturday must have started around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we saw men such as Junto Nakatani take on Astrolabio. We got to see Tenshin, who's the guy who ended up fighting Lomachenko in an exhibition about 2 years ago. Of course, he looked absolutely mediocre. He looked completely unspectacular. He looked quite nonplussed fighting. Fighting one of the best fighters, one of the most defensive fighters in the sport's history, Floyd Money Mayweather. But we got to see also a couple of other fighters, right? Did you get to see any of those fights? And do you think Japan is produces one of the best fighters at the lower rank divisions of August? It seems Japan is the place to be if you want to test yourself and you're a little guy.
Yeah, no, I've I actually just watched parts of the June the main event. I mean, I was asleep while this was happening, but I mean, I did catch it on the back end. So I did get that main event part, but I'm hearing that these Japanese fighters, bro, because I was trying to bet on some of these fights is just no, like literally, dude. That's my like we just said, bro. Like that's how we find out about these fighters is when we bet, we do our research, and we do it because we want to win money, but we also do it because we probably should pay attention to this guy. But we sometimes we see common opponents with certain guys, but I see dudes like Jonathan. That's Jonathan Rodriguez that actually fought Inoue, right? I believe so. That fought on that same card.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican. He's the one who ended up fighting Tenshin Nasukawa. Yeah.
So he actually got knocked out by Tenshin.
Yeah.
Right? And that says a lot, bro. I'm hearing that guy's another threat in his division, bro. So they're definitely coming up with these fighters. But from what I'm hearing, just from like the podcasts and stuff like that, because I don't just watch TBV, I watch like BDA and the other ones, so I get a better perspective on certain opinions. But I'm hearing a lot of good things about these Japanese fighters, and I'm also hearing that they've been out there. It was just a matter of time till they got their notoriety, and you can really think Inoue, honestly. Inoue is really putting the spotlight. He's paving the road, and guys are putting the road work behind them, and
Mhm.
right, and now it's a big old highway, bro. Like it's a pipeline of great fighters now, bro. Like, um, yeah, I'm hearing some good things about him. So I
So
got my eyes peeled on some of these guys. It's just hard sometimes to read their names and be like, oh yeah, I've heard this guy. Because honestly, Tension is I thought it was some other guy, and one of Inoue's former sparring partners. I'm pretty sure this guy is probably sparred Inoue, but I thought I had heard of him, but it's some completely another, like a whole complete fighter, like different fighter. So I'm just
yeah,
like
so
amazed.
tension. He looked much sharper than Rodriguez. He really did. Jonathan Rodriguez, I was really cheering him on because he was not being too verbose. He wasn't being too cocky. He was actually, when he walked in there, he looked a bit timid, or overwhelmed by the whole experience. And again, I believe you said that he fought Naoya anyway. This would be surprising for me to see him fighting a guy with a record of 3-0 and Tension. Remember, Tension is the guy who had that exhibition against Mayweather. They paid him like 8 million
Oh,
so that
that's him.
Mayweather could. Yeah. They paid he before he became a pro. Tension used to be I think it was like a kickboxer,
Yeah.
and he had a record of 42 wins and 0 losses as a kickboxer. He
Mm.
was so dominant that he just decided to walk away from kickboxing and decided to take on, boxing as like a sport.
Mhm.
And before he became a pro, he ended up wanting to just test himself and his abilities against Floyd Money Mayweather. It was an exhibition that was scarcely seen, but it was well paid over there in Japan. He didn't look anything spectacular. He looked like a spoiled brat who probably comes from a family of wealth, who just wanted to test himself and take a couple of pictures with the best fighter in the world, who had just most recently retired, right? But he looked very dominant, very sharp, very clear, very powerful against the man from the island of Puerto Rico, the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, and Jonathan Rodriguez, who had a record of 17-3-1, 70 knockouts. Um, I wanted Rodriguez to win because this Tension guy, he's so cocky. Like, they asked him a question. Look, I'm not trying to be like racist or stereotypical, but when the Japanese say something like, "What's your favorite food?" If you ask an American, "What's your favorite food?" People are gonna say, burritos, tostones. Some people are gonna say, pizza. And in Japan, like in other languages, you say, "What's your favorite food?" And then they go
What
for
the
like
fuck, dude?
they go like for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes to answer something, right? And they might just actually be saying pizza, but their language is so different to the conciseness of like American. That it's like it takes a while to answer a question. But they asked him some questions, and every answer seemed to take like 7 minutes. And I was like, you know what? This guy answered the question, but he's just hogging up the mic. He's just out there promoting himself and he's feeling himself. I get it. I get that. I'm not trying to rob your opportunity. But there was another guy from Los Angeles with the last name I can't remember. It's hard to pronounce, but he ended up upsetting the Japanese champion over there. He is Junto Nakatani's sparring partner, and this guy from LA knocked out the Japanese fighter, and he became the champion, right? And they asked him, "So how was fighting, over here in Japan and fighting this competitor?" He's like, "Oh, it's an honor, and he's a good fighter. I feel glad that I beat him." But this guy, this Tension guy, they asked him, "So what? How did you know that you were gonna get that punch?" He went on for 7 minutes. I was like, "Bro, be respectful of the boxing world and let us move on into the next fight." Right? There was a pause of an hour almost before Junto Nakatani came on. After he won, after the guy from Los Angeles won some kind of Latin, he won. There was almost an hour wait before Junto came on, and of course you saw the highlights. In fact, I'm sure you saw the whole fight. What happened in Junto Nakatani? He won in the first round. You know how he won? Did you know how he won, homie Ricky? Did you get to see that fight?
It was like a
Okay.
body shot, right?
Yeah, he hit him in the ovaries.
Yeah. I seen
No,
that.
bro, men don't have ovaries, bro. It's a joke.
I thought you meant. I thought that was like another one of those words you say for like their suplex or their.
Oh yeah. No, so he hit that guy in the navel, right below the belly button, and I was thinking, what kind of power does Junto Nakatani have to have where he hits a guy between the belly button and the testicular region, a clean punch, by the way, and the guy drops, he tries to get himself up and drops himself again. You have to understand, whatever it is that Rudy Hernandez, trainer for both Junto Nakatani and that LA-based fighter, whatever he's doing, man, is game changing. And now we have to ask, is Rudy one of the best underrated trainers out there? It's incredible.
The best trainer out there is Joe Diaz, man.
You think so?
Yeah, Joe Diaz is the best trainer. You know, maybe you can add Ronnie Shields, but Joe Diaz he's the in my opinion, he's the best trainer out there. Where he has every type of fighter and he accommodates himself, but he makes them all tough. And he instills his philosophy and great game plans. Like almost all of his fighters are going to be extremely disciplined. Now you can be like, well, what about Timothy Bradley? That guy relied so much on his athleticism. Well, you kind of have to when you're fighting, you know, a bunny rabbit and Pacquiao that's like and throwing punches from all fucking angles and flurries. Like you have to move like a madman. I've always taught that you have to match the other dude's urgency. You know what I mean? Like if he's coming at you with a barrage of punches, you have to move defensively, like if you're dodging all those punches. So you have to move chaotically because those punches are coming at you from, I mean, you know, you can't just stand there and just block and eat up all those punches. No, you have to move crazy, head down, swiveling, almost like you're falling off your feet. That's why he was, I mean, he didn't beat Pacquiao, but that's why he was able to get the first fight decision because, you know, I mean, he fucking tried. And then, you know, but nah, man, Joe Diaz is the best trainer. That guy Ricky, he might be pretty good. Look, Junto Nakatani, he's a very
Rudy.
good
I think his
fighter.
name is Rudy, homie.
Okay, yeah, man, he's a pretty good trainer. Junto Nakatani, he's a really good fighter. I mean, he's great and he's big, he's strong at that weight class. And yeah, man, it's just a matter of time before, you know, he unifies or becomes undisputed, or maybe everyone's trying to push up Bam Bam Rodriguez to fight him. Others are pushing him up to go up to Naoya Inoue. Maybe Naoya Inoue is waiting for him at 122. No, he's got a great career. As for his punching power, yeah, man. I mean, I didn't get to watch the fight. I think it was probably like around 3 a.m. And I mean, he knocked him out in the first round. I mean, there's not much to be said after you knock a dude in the first round with probably a punch to the solar plexus. You know, they said it was a straight two to it, and you know that was able. I mean, look, Junto is really good. He's gonna continue to be really good. He boxes, he uses his height. I've seen him get hit. You know, might wobble, it might be a little chinny, but yeah, man, Junto is really good. I can't wait to see what he manifests out of his career, but I hope he unifies first. You know, or tries to go to become undisputed. I think the best fight and the best fighter on his resume is the Maloney. I also like the Alejandro Santiago fight as well. That was really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just shows you his look, Japan, every single thing that they do, they have well-schooled athletes, very disciplined, and they have a great game plan. And we're talking about from their baseball, dude, they just beat Team USA in the World Baseball Classic Series, you know, with Shohei Ohtani, you know, striking out as the closer to what's the Los Angeles Anaheim outfielder? I forgot his name, but he's really good. They're great in soccer. I think they got third place in the Copa Mundial. You know what I mean? They've always been great. Boxing, everybody has their moments, and Japan always does. Anything that they do is quality, bro. I mean, that's where Pokemon originated. PlayStation. I mean, Toyota. These dudes are reliable. You know, like it's fantastic. And when it comes down to almost everything that they generate, you know what I mean? So Junto is gonna be really good, just like Naoya anyway. The ones that people are, you know, getting exposed to, right? There's a reason for it. These guys are gonna be great, man. It's gonna be interesting. All right, Abner goes. I agree. That's what I would like. But then all the others drop. Let the bets go for the bite. Junto is fire. Hey, I need to go, guys. Take care. Take care, Abner. Yo, you guys there? Or what happened? You guys cut off?
Yeah. No, we're still here. So
Thank
it's
you for tuning in, Abner.
interesting. I know
Appreciate you,
that.
bro.
Yeah, absolutely, Abner. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And enjoy life, man. Enjoy
Oh,
life.
enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah, enjoy life. Start with enjoying your Sunday, I guess. One day at a time, as us alcoholics like to say. But yeah, and then enjoy the rest of your life and come visit us sometime soon, homie Ricky. Look, I know this is
Actually,
gonna
he
be
fought Vicente Astrolabio for the
Vicente Astrolabio.
WBC. So he
Uh
actually
huh.
just unified. He
Yeah.
unified with a dude that's 19-4 and knocked him
Mhm.
down with a body punch in the first round.
Wow. I thought it
That's
was fake, homie.
hilarious.
I thought it was fake. But you
He probably it
understand.
probably was fake, bro. Like what the fuck?
No, so the thing is this, right?
Why couldn't you unify with Chocolatito or Takuma Inoue? You know what I mean? Like the top 4 fighters are from Japan. Check this out. This is what pisses me off, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. The top 4 fighters are from Japan. Junto's 28-0. Takuma Inoue is 20-1. Then you got Nishida 9-0 and Yoshiki Takai 9-0. These dudes are all above Jason Maloney,
Yeah.
Nonito Donen,
No. But you know the one thing that
Alejandro
happened, right?
Santiago. Why do those guys crazy, bro? It's great. It's great
Well,
to be
you know
able
what
to have
happened
a
with
promoter like Honda to promote you and you cut in line. It must be nice to have
no.
somebody to
So
cut in line, man, for
the
sure.
thing that happened with those guys, Junto Nakatani is a 3 weight division champion, but his layover at 116 was only for one fight. Like he got the belt, he couldn't make the weight, he moved on immediately. As soon as he couldn't make the weight, he told him and he relinquished his belt. So we know that Junto Nakatani has been playing the sacrifice, the weight. Some would say the weight bully, but it's not that. Of course, it's just the weight advantage, height advantage game, right? He's been a 3 division holder at 112, 115, and now at 118. He was only at 112 for a couple of fights. 115 he just stopped once. He got the belt on the vacancy from what's his name, Ioka, Kazuto Ioka, when Kazuto couldn't defend, so they stripped him, and then he ended up becoming the vacant. And he got the belt. He fought for the vacancy, and then he won. He couldn't make the belt. He did the right thing when he couldn't make weight. He moved on to 118, and that's where he's at right now. But or maybe he's at 122. No, that's Naoya. And that's the thing, homie Ricky. He hasn't fought anybody because, well, he's been only at those weight classes for a very short time. It doesn't really have much to do with Honda's influence. It does that he got up there, but we know that the Japanese fighters will have their talent with men like Tenshin Nasukawa, who has 3 fights fight for a vacancy with a guy that has nearly 25 fight record, right? As experience. That's how hard the Japanese test their fighters. They don't sugarcoat their career. They don't pad the record. They say if you're good, you're fighting in less than 5 fights. And take it or leave it, they climb up the ranks, they take shortcuts. But like you say, right? You neither care about the ranks because you don't know those names. And to tell you the truth, homie Ricky, what do we know about fighters at 108, 112, 115, 118? We
No,
don't.
I care about the ranks, but I care more about who you fought that are in the ranks.
But again, you only say that the champions are the way that you know those guys, and those guys only become champions because they got the opportunity. Now, right now, you got Tension, who's arguably a champion at a nation belt. Here's the funny thing, though, homie Ricky.
Hey, bro, what's
If
up with those
Jonathan,
birds, man?
oh, they're lively birds. They're love
No, I
birds. So
know,
they're like
but for
they're
like
having
two
an
hours, you
argument.
can't move them to a different location.
No, they're birds.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not gonna
called
move a bird.
move the cage. Move the
I'm
cage.
not gonna move the
Please.
cage.
Shit.
This guy's Dream. This guy's telling me what to do in my own show. Listen to this guy, man.
No, I am telling him what to do in his own house.
I know. Hey, from afar, like
No,
from
it's
another
very
part of the world,
disruptive. Like it's just
guys.
like
I know,
like damn,
guys.
like
Okay, did you hear right? That
hey
Ismol
Drew, what do you
Madrimov.
think about Ashton H2O getting knocked out?
Dude,
Oh my God, Dream,
dude.
Dream. Don't even answer that, bro.
Drew.
This is
Dude,
my
that,
show.
dude, that guy's fucking. He's good, man. He showed a lot of heart. It's just like his chin, man. It's you can be. This is the thing. You can be a good boxer. You can have perfect defense, perfect everything, but it doesn't mean your body's gonna catch up with you. You know, it doesn't mean that your chin's gonna build along with it. You know, you can't build your chin. Like I think having a chin is, I keep saying this, a direct reflection of how good you take care of yourself. And I mean, just because you're in shape doesn't mean you're taking good care of yourself. It's a battle of depleting your body. You know, so everyone's depleting their body to an extent. You know, and some guys do it to the point where they're a couple of hits away from getting knocked out. And you've seen it, bro. Like this guy got tapped on the chin and straight went to sleep. Like you cannot call that you can't call that a dive because dude, that shit, it was a vicious knockout, bro. The way he landed on his head, like dude, I remember him when he was 12 years old on Instagram. And I was like, dude, this guy's fucking good. And he was playing football. Like I caught on to this guy years ago before I even became a hard like try to become a hardcore, you know. And dude, they did say that this guy Luke, what's his name, Lucas Body, right? He was gonna catch a body, and he caught one.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love it. Lucas Body. Look at the body.
Yeah, so that's what he got. He caught a body, and man, it just I wanted to bet. I just feel like I didn't do my research. I just wasn't into it this weekend. So it was my birthday, or it is my birthday, but
When?
today.
Oh, happy birthday, Dream.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
ridiculous. You don't tell nobody. You don't even invite us to a party. Where's my cake?
Yeah, I even changed my birthday date on my Facebook so they don't like bug me.
Oh, that's
Nah,
crazy. Yeah.
nah,
Oh, yeah.
only my real family can know, you know? Like
Well, you just told the whole world, man. There's about 1.5 million people listening to this live right now. You just told everybody.
yeah, I know.
There's not 1.5 million people. There's probably about 1.5 persons listening in. So, Dream. So, okay, Ashton Sylve, right? You
Right.
obviously have known about the guy since going on 12 years. Since 12, he's about 20 years old. So for about 8 years now, you've heard about this guy. This guy was highly supported by the Dog Pound gang, Snoop Dogg, all those LDBCers, Long Beach, all those guys down south. They were really hype on this individual, and I understand why. He's very talented. He's very skillful. He knows a lot of veteran tricks. He knows a lot of different punches. He has great footwork. He's very comfortable fighting in the pocket. He knows how to move well. He has good speed. He has good power, right? But I got to watch the fight. I was at my nephew's birthday party, and he was winning all rounds, except the last one when he got knocked out. Right? Would you agree to that?
Yeah.
So why would you not be hyped that he was winning the whole fight? It's not like he was at any other time before that at any risk of losing, right? What happens? He puts his hands down. He gets cocky. He puts his hands down. He starts becoming lax with his defense, and that's when the guy just throws one punch. Remember, this is the sport of the puncher's chance.
And
The guy threw a punch. It landed when he was cocky. It hit him, and then he followed it with 3 cleanly punched, landed punches, and that's how he slept him with his hands back, a la the Pacquiao.
and this is the vicious reality of
Mhm.
your chin, right? You tap it, you go to sleep once, bro. It's like you lose it forever. You know, like it's like
What?
once your chin, once you don't react to getting hit on your chin,
Mm.
it's kind of like over in a sense. You know, you have to take care of yourself a lot better. Some guys get knocked out cold and they continue on, but there's that certain level that they can't pass up, that they can't break through. You know, because
Yeah.
they keep getting tapped on the chin and their chin isn't allowing their body to continue on. And it's like every time I see a guy get tapped on their chin and they're wobbly, I'm like, dude, this guy's done, because I feel like life is a marathon. Obviously, what how they say it, like it's a marathon, and uh, it's all about like the long run, and you
But
get hit once, bro. Like dudes like JC Ramirez. I seen him
uh,
wobbly against a um,
yeah,
Bartholomew. I
telling
mean,
me,
yeah,
telling me, yeah.
yeah, and I seen him get wobbled, and they're still talking about this dude fighting at a high level. And I'm like, no, this guy's gonna get knocked out. Like he is going to get knocked out his next fight,
You
whoever
said
it is.
something. You said something, and this is true, right? When you are, struggling to make weight, or you're sacrificing too much to make weight, or you're trying too hard to come down into these natural weight classes, your chin is going to be compromised. I do know that that is true. But in my opinion, it's not really the chin, your punch resistance, the biggest telltale sign that you are, that you're fighting at a weight division that you probably have outgrown. Um, because to me, the one definition of you fighting in a weight division that you shouldn't be because for whatever factors is your performance, right? If you don't have power, if you don't have speed, if you are getting too tired, or the weigh-in makes you look very emaciated, very weak and fragile, and overly worked and dehydrated, that to me indicates more that you have outgrown a division, not so much the punch resistance. Because, I mean, in the sport of boxing, if you get hit one good fresh punch, I mean, you're going to get knocked out. It doesn't matter if you're fighting at a weight division that's more suited for you. If you get hit flush, you will get dropped no matter what, right? So, in the case of Sylve, I saw a guy who won every single round, except the last one, and he got hit and he got dropped because he was being careless with his defense, right? Now, if he had remained careful with his defense, considerate of his defense, and he just took off the last round, to make sure that he won the fight, this would never have happened. I definitely rebound from that because he looked very good at the weight division. He looked very dominant. I lament, though, that the fight between him and Floyd Schofield is now something that has suffered as a result, because Schofield and him were supposed to be fighting each other. I don't have my horse ready. And my wife, my wife is saying if I got my horse all roped up and ready to go because it's the last day for the rodeo. Going back again, I don't think Floyd Schofield, it has much to do with weight. I think he looked good. I think he looked dominant. Anybody can get tagged. There is no perfect fighter. There is not one fighter that just never gets hit. And he just became irresponsible. He became cocky. He took a punch flush, and that's not all. That one punch did not knock him out. The second punch did not knock him out. The first punch stunned him. The second punch was well placed by his foe. The third one was incredible, and the fourth one he just punched him with it. He put him to sleep. So yeah, I don't think it was one punch knockout. That indicates more so the debilitation caused to Sylve, H2O Sylve, because of fighting at a weight class he's outgrown. I think it was he got tagged. It happens to everybody. He got stunned, and then the guy, he just landed 3 consecutive punches that were the fleshiest I've seen. 4-punch combo. Dream. How are you not gonna go to sleep with that?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
You take 4 punches, power punches. How are you not gonna go to sleep?
How you not gonna go to sleep?
Yeah, you're gonna go to sleep. Who do you
oh.
know that takes 4 clean, powerful punches and is standing upright?
Well, it
Nobody.
It depends who's punching you.
Joe Joyce.
Okay, Joe Joyce. Yeah, because I mean, dude, I've had, and it's like I'm like a welterweight, right? I'm welterweight size, and I've had pad work with dudes that are, 126 pounders, and I'm like pretty. This dude named Chema. Shout out to dude named Chema, right? He's a professional fighter out of Robert Garcia's gym, and I've taken his punches like nothing. he's going hard, and I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, I think I can take it on the chin like hella times, but if that's pretty stupid of me to do, but in reality, like
exactly.
if you were to do that, it's gonna add up to me getting knocked out if I just had my hands tied behind my back and not doing anything, like yeah, like I'm gonna get knocked out eventually, but um, like he needs a high volume to really do that to me, and yeah, just there's levels, bro. Like, and there's some times, and then last week I was doing body shots with this big ass kid, and prior to that I was with the smaller guy, and he was going kind of hard, and I was going kind of soft, and he seen that, and we switched. It was just different, I was like, damn, okay, like and he's just being himself. He's not like going extra hard. Like we're doing solid work, and we had that our foot in the tire, but yes, bro. Like it depends on the size and all that, but
I
depends.
love seeing that. I love seeing that work on that tire because there's no escape. You
Yeah,
have to
because
suck it up.
sometimes you're either scared or it gets competitive,
Bro.
and that's what I love about it. But yeah, sometimes it's a mental thing too, because you're just like you can go harder, but you don't want to activate this guy and start making him go harder as well. So it's really like hand placement and all that. But anyways, yeah, bro, like it's yeah, no, it's like it's all about defense, bro, and that it's all about longevity.
I was gonna talk about I was gonna talk a little bit about Madre Mov, but my wife wants me to take her out
Mm,
because it's her only day off, and I did want to
okay.
talk a little bit about Alexis Rocha. But before that, I just wanted to ask you two things, right? Okay, have you ever gone to the California, Salinas, California rodeo or no?
Before, yeah.
Okay, are you going this year?
Today's the last day.
Yeah, it
Nah,
starts in about an hour.
nah, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, so it's a tradition in my family. I've gone every single year that I can remember. We've always gone to the
You went
rodeo.
every day?
There has been years that I've gone every day. This
Damn.
year I haven't. I didn't go on Friday. I went on Thursday. I went yesterday, and my wife just asked me, Are we getting our horses ready?" So I think maybe she's interested in going. It's fun. So we might go there. I told her if you don't want to go there, we could go to the beach. We could go to Big Sur, whatever. Right? Just unwind. But for the most part, it is a place that you can go there, family friendly. It seems some old fashioned country hard work. These men and women riding bucking horses, bucking bulls. You see all these kids chasing after muttons and riding them, and just all kinds of hilarity and fun and just valiant souls out there, right? And this year, I ran into a couple of things that did throw me off. Now, mind you, I know there's a lot of people that get drunk everywhere, but there was this guy that was so drunk he was taking off his shirt and he was
Damn.
swinging it around. He was swinging it around like nobody's business, and he was like hitting my daughter. I was gonna tell him something, but it was the sweater and it was like the sleeve and it was just tagging her, and she was like, "Look at this guy." And I was gonna say something, but he was. They were two of them, and he was probably gonna be like, "Who are you and why you care?" But I was like, "Okay." And then he stopped, so I was like, "Okay, I'm lucky I didn't have to face this guy, right?" Because the drunk person does not have much reasonableness. Okay,
Yeah.
that was one thing. Let it go, happen. And you've seen me get drunk, so I can't be too critical, right? Now, the other thing that happened, and it's making the rounds in social media, there
What?
was a oh yeah, I want you to search it. There was a big old brawl in the
Oh, for real?
bathroom, a huge brawl, and some people got slept. Like it looked like a gang of cowboys. One cowboy group met another cowboy group, and they just duked that out in the bathroom. And then people were pulling out their phones, and one guy got slept like baff, like he laying on the floor sleeping.
How big were they?
And all varieties, all sizes. It was a fair fight. There was short guys fighting short guys fighting big guys. There was some pulling of hair. That was like I was like pulling the hair, but that's what you get when you're a cowboy with long locks, right? You decide to go in there and they're just gonna get you by the hair and just start uppercutting you. But this one guy got slept, and ladies and gentlemen, it was a fair scrap. It was a fair fight. Everybody just duked him out, punched. There was no kicks that I saw thrown. And in fact, I am proud. I am proud of my people, my fellow Salinians, my Salineros, I guess you would say, and the people that would say those in the in the gang parlance, right? That the guy that got slept, they never hit him on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to say that there are still men out there that live by the rules of the old traditional manly style, which is you never hit a man when he's down. We don't jump on their faces. We don't cave in their chest with kicks. He's out and we move on. Fair and square scrap that took place at the rodeo grounds. And as lamentable, as regrettable that had to happen for whatever reason or another, it happened. They released the attention. Hopefully, these guys won't escalate it. But guess what? At least on that day, on the videos that I've seen, they were fair and square fights that men we will get into in life. But once a man is down, you let him be. You've won. You live to see another day, and so does he. And I hope it doesn't escalate. But man, oh man, it was so fun to watch that right there. And I'm glad that there is still a bit of that virility, a bit of that law of man that still trumps the way that we conduct ourselves, even in actions of violence. Dream, I think the homie Ricky just said he sent you the link to the bathroom phone booth LOL on IG. As soon as we hop off right here, which is gonna be soon enough, uh, I will direct your attention to that video so that you can watch it. But before that, I just wanted to ask you, what now? Just a couple of minutes ago, Boxing News 24 released a missive written by James DeGrad. Madrimov's Golovkin-esque transformation spells trouble for Crawford. I know you and the homie Ricky have talked about the transformation of Ismail Madrimov's body. Let me ask you something. Does the fact that Israel Madrimov looked like a killer, is that enough for him to beat the long laid off Terence Crawford? We can talk about it more in depth on another occasion, but let me ask you something. What are the odds? You're a betting man. What are the odds of you putting money on Israel Madrimov, knowing that he's fighting no names, like the homie Ricky likes to state, no names that you recognize, and he's about to fight a 2-division undisputed champion, 4-division belt holder?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw something on it. Because it's either gonna be a knockout by Crawford, or it's gonna be a decision by Madrimov. And that's what I'm thinking. I think those fighters, man, from those European fighters are just a different breed, bro. And I watched one fight from him, a little small sample size, and he's consistent. And he has a good variety of combinations, and he's built like a machine, bro. So it's like it's one of those risks that I'm willing to take. I'm probably gonna add that to like a parlay. So I have to see because I had to see because I definitely feel good about Rayo and Pitbull. That's a good one as well. That one has me kind of thinking an upset, because I think Pitbull's that favorite, and he's the betting favorite to by knockout. So yeah, and then the Ruiz fight, obviously that's gonna be a good fight as well against Joel Miller, but I think Ruiz should get that. Big Baby Miller is a big dude, but I feel like Andy Ruiz's punching speed is still there. I am afraid of the later round for him, but yeah, as a betting man, the one that I'm willing to take the risk for it is Madrimov. So yeah, I had to see what the undercard looks like as well, like before that. But yeah, man, hopefully it's good, man. Hopefully it's good. I think you can also bet on Eminem. Like, because
you can bet on Eminem.
You could bet Eminem to
what songs he'll
like,
perform.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I know these gonna have Lose Yourself for sure. I know he's gonna have one of the songs that they came out, Murder, Music to Murder by, and because he has some great songs in there, some very aggressive, very boxing, you know, apropos fights, and of course he's gonna have to perform one of the songs from the new album. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think he only had like 3 songs that are really. One of them was incredible. I was like, man, but of course we understand that he hasn't developed, or at least he's never changed. I guess that's what I should say. He's not changed from who he was. He's still talking about Haley. Oh God. He's still talking about his mama. Oh God. Right? He's still making funny jokes. Oh God. But nonetheless, Eminem, he is Kendrick Lamar's favorite fighter. He is the guy who influenced that guy. And guess what, Kendrick Lamar? He's not like you. He's not like you. Oh man, hey Dream, this was heck of fun, man. I can't wait to get live. Remember, guys, if you guys want to go live more often, let me know. I already paid $25 for another month of StreamYard. I have about a whole 3 more weeks left to go. We didn't get to address everything that took place over the weekend. In fact, we didn't get to address Alexis Rocha coming back from a defeat against. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Because I'm reading this guy's comment. He said Andrew Ruiz by knockout, and it reminded me they caught Big Baby Miller caught Andrew Ruiz on camera, in a hot dog stand. Yeah, he caught him in the hot dog stand. He's like, "Look at this guy eating the worst fucking meat out there." You know, I was like, "Damn." So that's why I'm like a little worried about his commitment. So it's like that's like the worst fucking type of meat, that you could, or protein that you could take in, bro. Like it's crazy, bro. So hopefully,
yeah, but
making right decisions. But I know heavyweights, you can kind of eat whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
So, but still, bro, like it's in your stomach now. It's not getting shitted out in weeks.
Yeah, but you know what, Dream? You want fat boy Andy Ruiz Jr., bro. You don't want skinny Andy Ruiz. You don't. You don't want Andy Ruiz, the guy who arguably lost to Chris Arreola, dude. You don't want that. You want the guy who fought Luis Ortiz and who fought Anthony Joshua.
True, but it's also different ways to eat that type of stuff. Like. There's just so many options you can do. At this point, it's laziness, and it was the luxury of having something right in there to have something to eat. But there's a thing called discipline and timing. And public image. So it's like you can eat whatever you want. Like it's visible that you can see he eats whatever you want. So why not, eat what you want in a safer way? Like there's so many different ways to eat a hot dog like that. Like they have like fucking turkey ones. I don't know. Like there's different. Like he's just doing. I don't know. He's just not as I don't know. I think he's just not as committed as a boxer should be. But at the same time, he's still capable of knocking out Big Baby Miller. So, yeah, you're right. We do want fat Andy Ruiz, but let's not forget, fat Andy Ruiz became world champion, after coming back from losing a couple rounds,
Yeah.
So he was going to lose that fight,
Absolutely. He might have even been stopped soon enough.
Yeah, he was going to get stopped soon enough. So, I mean, yeah, it was one of the greatest upsets of all time, made history, but it's all about consistency and what have you done for me lately. And he needs to prove to us, the public, a boxing public community, that he's still that guy.
Yeah.
And he's hasn't been doing that. I mean, he just laid a big ass shit against Areola. Not a shit, but I'm just saying, like, he won that fight, but it's like, bro, you get knocked down, bro. Like, he gave you that much trouble, bro. Like, dude had a layoff and everything, man. So,
yeah, he has a layoff. He he's done so wrong for his career recently, but you know we also have to consider that Baby Miller is coming off of a loss, a convincing loss at the hands of Daniel Dubois, Triple D. And so yeah, no, it's I think it's a good fight. It's very intriguing. Thank goodness we're not paying for that one, but it is good to see that Andy Ruiz still wants it. Um, so we'll see. Um, but Dream, it was heck of fun, man, to discuss this. We just barely scraped the surface of the birthday cake of boxing, right? Because there's so much we haven't talked about. We haven't addressed Jake Paul packing the stadium. We haven't addressed Mike. What's his name? Mike Perry having been one of the worst fighters that Jake Paul has faced, but yet one of the biggest hearts that display took place. We didn't get to see. We didn't even get to address Amanda Serrano destroying her opponent and making her stop, getting a referee stoppage at a round and a half. There was so much that we missed out on because we had so much fun as so right now, just talking about it for 2 hours or so. But yeah, we'll do this, man. We'll do this more often, man. Just let me know whenever you guys want to go, and I have like 3 more weeks to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Sounds good, man.
you enjoy your birthday. Let me
All right,
happy birthday to Dream. Happy birthday to Dream. Happy birthday.
man. Thank you.
Cookie. All right.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day, Dream. Enjoy your day, man.
All
Happy
right, man.
birthday to you.
Peace. Peace out, man.
Peace. And I do bid everybody do well. I hope everybody is doing well of health and sane of mind. Thank you for traveling the cosmos and contemplating the hardest questions in the sport of boxing as in life with Warp Speed, Dream 123, and the homie Ricky on life at Warp Speed. We shall do it soon enough. Thank you for being there with us today. It was definitely fun, and I encourage you to hit the like. I guess I'm going to say it for the first time I've ever said it before. Hit the like, right? Hit the like, and see if you find value in this program. At least hit the like. From your interlocutor, Warp Speed, homie Ricky, and of course Dream 123. I bid you adieu. Engage.